there's more than one way to student success. It doesn't necessarily have to be that every single child has to be in the classroom.
Hello, my people, and welcome to another episode of Sit, Sip, and Chat. I am your host, Glenda York of GCY Initiative. GCY Initiative is a destination marketing initiative based on the island of St. Martin, and Sit, Sip, and Chat is where I sit with different persons in the community that have positive things going on, and they want to let all you know what they have going on, so I can make sure look out for them and support them, because it's we own and it's we own thing. So today I have with me Miss Tatiana Arrindell.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. It's going to be an awesome chat.
Thanks for having me.
Now, before we go into the chat, you know, I have to give you the background, give you a little bit of she business so I understand exactly who it is we talking to. Tatiana Arrindell is a forward-thinking education leader and governance professional known for her ability to elevate institutions, empower learners, and inspire communities. With more than 20 years of experience across education, government, and organizational development, she brings a refined blend of strategic insight and modern leadership. Tatiana is currently pursuing her MBA in Educational Leadership and serves as learning coach and lead coordinator for secondary education programs and GED initiatives at the Majestic Institution of Learning, where she champions innovative pathways for student success. Her leadership journey includes transformative roles at the Charlotte Brookson Academy for Performing Arts, first as Vice President of the Board of Directors and later as the Director, where she strengthened systems, advanced policy, and enhanced the overall student's experience. Deeply engaged in community development, Tatiana serves on multiple boards, including the St. Martin Alzheimer's Foundation, and is the visionary behind the Queen Awards, a celebrated platform honoring women entrepreneurs. She does a lot of things.
Yes.
I don't know how you do a lot of things, but you do a lot of things.
Yes, including mom.
Including mom,
Yes.
which is 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Yes, 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 yes.
So
Yes.
cheers to you on that,
Cheers.
because
Cheers.
because it's a full time.
Yes, I must say now my kids are older.
Yeah.
I have 3 kids biologically. My oldest is now 23. She's now a probation officer.
Oh, wow.
Finishing up her HBO. I have another daughter. She's 20 in Holland studying. She's going to do radiology, x-rays, and whatnot. And I have my only son. They call him King Son. And he has an athletic scholarship at Lincoln University in Missouri.
Okay.
And he's on the dean's list, and he's 18. Besides that, I'm an aunt. I have 2 lovely, my nephew and my niece. They're in Holland as well.
Okay.
And I was blessed to also help raise them, Malik and Sade. And then I have a beautiful foster daughter that I'm also been blessed to raise now. And she's 17, and I have a grandson.
Ooh, you're busy.
Yes, Ajani, and he's 3 months. And my foster daughter is his mom. So, yeah, I'm richly blessed with my large family. And I enjoy every minute
And
of
you
it.
still find time for all the other
Yes,
things listed.
yes.
How?
I've always been raised that giving back is important, and that's how you also leave a positive legacy behind, right? Your life is not measured by what you get; it's by what you give. You know, and I give freely, right? So that it doesn't feel
Like work.
it doesn't feel like
Yeah,
work.
it's just what you do.
It's what I do, you know.
nice.
And you know, even serving with the Alzheimer's Foundation, that's a passion of mine. I just lost my mom in September.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. You know, also through dementia. So that's also something I do through passion. I want to help our community because that's something that's affecting so many people here, and younger women,
Okay.
especially. You know, so that's something that we really need to give a lot more attention to, and education. I think it goes hand in hand. You know, you can't love your community and not love education, right?
Because you would want to elevate your community, and you do that through education.
Through education.
Some way, somehow, you got to learn something to better yourself first.
Exactly. So it just goes hand in hand. So it just fused together. You know what I'm saying? So so it's a busy life, but it's a good life.
It's a good life. It seems that way. It seems that way.
Yes.
Okay. So, born and raised on St. Martin.
Actually, no.
No. Okay.
I was I was born in Holland.
Okay.
Yes. But I was raised here. I came with my mom and dad and my brother. Both him and I were born in Holland. But we came here. I was 4. Yeah. In 1984. Yes, we came here, but I was raised here, and this is my home.
Okay.
Right?
So then, school and system, what school you went to?
I went to St. Peter's Hillside School. At that time, it was St. Peter's Hillside School. It's now Hillside Christian School.
Yeah.
And then after that, I graduated. I went to MPC.
MPC.
Yes.
Okay. You're my alumni. I went to Academy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't quite like how you said that. Tatiana.
My bad.
I feel like you have some tension, Tatiana.
I mean, back in the day, it was, you know, and now you have so many choices in high school, right? But back then, it was either, say, MPC or
Academy.
They used to call it FUPT, right? It was, it was, I think I'm telling my age, but yeah. But yeah, it was just those two. Now you can, it's almost like choosing a college when you're choosing high school, right? But it's either English or Dutch, right?
Yes.
My mom was Trinidadian, but we always grew up in basically a Dutch home. So it was a given that we followed that Dutch trajectory. Yeah. So yeah.
How was that with your Trinidadian mom, and then did your mom learn Dutch and then
she did?
Okay.
She did. My dad is a Caribbean, my mom is Trinidadian, but when we came here, we actually couldn't speak English. She always spoke to us in Dutch, right? So my mom, but when we learned English, she was very strict. The English that we spoke had to be proper English. So leave that St. Martin English on the street, right? So yeah, it was a very disciplined household, but it was a happy household.
Yeah, and you saw the benefits.
Definitely.
Later on. Guys, that's just a little bit about Miss Tatiana. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we'll get into it. We are back, my people. We're still sitting here with Miss Tatiana Arrindell, and we're going to jump right back into it. So, we were talking off camera about going away to Holland for school, and then what did you study?
So I studied personeelszaken and arbeidsvoorziening. So that's basically HR.
Okay.
And labor.
And how did we land there? How did you decide that that's what you wanted to study?
Um, Actually, I wanted to study medicine,
Okay.
right? But then I figured out in high school that I was not good in math
Okay.
at all, right? Chemistry,
Okay.
right? But I was good in just study subjects, right? I was also good in writing, and I also had a passion for justice, but I didn't want to go into law,
Yeah.
right? So when I looked at HR and I spoke to like the I don't know what that is in English, like the decan, the guidance counselor, that's the word, right? We looked like we thought that was a good fit, right? You kind of get to study about what the rights of a worker would be, right? So yeah, so it just fit,
And you enjoyed
and I
it?
enjoyed it.
That's good.
But then I came back and I worked in the field a little bit, and I didn't like it.
It wasn't quite what you
It wasn't
expected.
quite what I
But
expected.
then you did it, and you studied in Holland.
Yes.
Did you do a stage in Holland as well?
I actually landed a job in an uitzendbureau because as a student in Holland, you always have to work. You have to work and study, right? So anybody going to study in Holland, that's get ready for that,
Just know you have to
right?
work
You have
and
to work
study.
and study. And always put your best foot first, because that opens opportunity, right? So the uitzendbureau that I worked with, they were quite impressed. Okay, that uitzendbureau, that particular branch, they were uniquely stationed in the school that I was attending.
Okay.
Right. So they actually offered me a position at their branch to work as a consultant, and would also pay for my schooling as well. So I took the opportunity.
Of course.
And so I worked as a consultant with them for a bit, which I enjoyed. But then it became too commercial.
How does HR become commercial?
That's the thing. As a consultant in an uitzendbureau, before you had persons calling the companies and asking to work with that particular uitzendbureau, right? But then the everything, they started to downsize, and then the consultants were now asked to call.
Oh, so you had to now look for clients
Now I
instead
had
of
to
the
look for
clients come
clients.
for you.
Exactly.
I got you.
So that was not something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wasn't good in sales.
Yes, that's
right?
not what you studied.
Exactly. So so that's when it got a little twisted, and then I wanted to come back home as well. So when I got back home and worked in HR for a bit,
It was different from Holland
it was
versus-
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't really like it.
Studio.
Yes. So that's when I went into government and worked in the Island Secretary office for a bit. At that time, the Island Secretary was Joan de Valumite, which I learned a lot from about how government worked.
Yeah.
And that was before 10, of course.
Island Council.
Island Council, Executive Council. And prior to that, I had the honor of working with Hassink and Rose. I learned a lot from Mr. Hassink, and I also worked with him on the project of fusing the ministries together, right? For instance, with education, tying it in with sports and tying it in. So I saw a lot, I learned a lot.
I like that, and that you hear a lot about gatekeeping and about the older ones not giving the information and guiding and showing those that are coming after them. And you're speaking about being able to see and understand and learn from the people you were working with.
Correct.
To gain that, even though it might not have been your trajectory of where you wanted to go, but it helps you to better understand so that you can better do your job.
Correct.
Because the more you understand, the
Correct.
better. Because if I don't understand how the next department working, I going to send them something and be like, why are you on? But you're realizing that you needed to do this, or they have this process to go through before they can. It helps you to better understand your job and what you do if you understand how the collective works. And I think a lot of people miss that now, that they're trying to keep that, or it's not being communicated.
Communicated. That's it. You know, you have to share that knowledge.
Yeah.
Share that knowledge, and young people as well need to be open to that information. Yes. You know, you can learn a lot in school, but you can learn a lot more from people's experience.
Yes, definitely.
And their knowledge. You know, there's a saying that says the richest place on earth is the graveyard, right? The burial ground, because a lot of people die with information and wisdom and knowledge.
And not able to share it
and
with
exactly.
anybody.
So we need to be open, and we need to also give them their flowers while they're alive.
Yep.
You understand? If you get that information from those that came before us, don't knock them off and be like, they're old. You understand? No, honor them. Mm-hmm. You know, and I was blessed to work with a lot of those older heads, you know, persons like Joe Richardson, Roy Marlin, Marcel Gomes, Theo Heiliger, Maurice Lake,
names. I could imagine.
Ralph Richardson, you know, all lieutenant governors. I have worked with them all, you know, so what I bring to the table, and when I come with strategy, it's based on old and new, you know. So rather than recreating the wheel, you know, bring that old and fuse it with the new, you know, and then that's how you get things rolling.
There we go. Tatiana here dropping gems, people. We're going to go take our next break. I hope you went go to the bathroom now. You should have had your drink. You should have been sipping with us. Go to the bathroom. We're going to be right back, and we're going to talk about what Tatiana has going on now. And we are back, my people, sitting here with Miss Tatiana Arrindell of Majestic Pathways Academy. Now we're going to talk about Majestic Pathways, but before, I wanted to make a transition in. The last thing we were talking about is your position in government. Started off in HR, then we went to government. How did you go from government to education?
So I believe in volunteerism, and I also believe in being an active parent, right? So I was on the PTA boards of both, well, it started off at Hillside, right, when all my kids were there. And then when my oldest daughter, when she attended Charlotte Brookson Academy, I was on the PTA board at Charlotte Brookson Academy, and then I was also on the PTA board at Hillside, right? Then when the founder of Charlotte Brookson Academy, Miss Augusti, when she saw my involvement on the level of the PTA board, she asked me to join, if I was interested in joining the board of directors of CBA. Who would say no, right? Because again, besides being a volunteer, you want to be impactful.
Yes.
Right? In anything that you do, you want to leave impact, right? So I did. I accepted, and I did that for some years. After COVID, that's when the current the director at that time, everything was on lockdown, and understandably he went to rejoin his family back in the U.S.
Yeah.
So then I went as interim just to transition the school back
to being a full force in
yes,
person.
Exactly. So that's how my journey went from government to education, right? And in anything that you do, you need to study.
There you go.
Right? You need to study. You need to ask questions, right? And it comes back again, asking people who were there before you, right? Asking people who are in education. And I learned the system. I had to learn the curriculum. Coming from a Dutch system, I had to learn about CXC, how it works.
Yeah.
And I'm not a person that is insecure. I understood my position, but I had to ask even those who were, let's say, in functions below mine, ask them to guide me in that process.
How to get it done.
Exactly.
How do we do this?
How does it work?
And all of that. Yeah.
What does the examination entail? And what does it take to get the students to pass, right? So that was the transition from government to education. And then I understood the policies and because I had that foot in government already, then you understood the other sides of what needed to be done. How do we improve not only education at CBA, but education on a whole.
Yeah.
Right? So after my tenure at CBA, I felt like I was not done.
Okay. And that's how we end up here now.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about Majestic Pathways Academy.
Yes. So my love for education and how I worked with my students, we were very close, right? Some students call me mom. How that came about is my kindergarten teacher. My kindergarten teacher, up to today, 41 years later, I still call her mom. We have a group of friends. I think it's like 6 of us. We still have up to like, I think Christmas or Boxing Day or something like that, we were still together. She brought all of us together.
Oh, that's nice.
Teacher Clara Curiel Nicholas. She's still at Hillside today. It is her dream, or it was her dream, her vision, to have an academy where she can help still work with students. Even past her pension years, she would still be able to work with students.
She just wanted to continue to impact. Yeah.
So after my tenure at CBA, I spoke to her and I was like, Mom, you still want to do this? I know she had the foundation. I was like, let's make your dream come true. So we sat. We also spoke. She spoke to another teacher, Amanda James, great teacher at MAC, and that's how Majestic Pathways Academy came about. Majestic Pathways Academy. The name Pathways came about because we believe that there's more than one way to student success. It doesn't necessarily have to be that every single child has to be in the classroom. It doesn't have to be traditional learning. We have students with learning challenges. We have students with, let's say, behavioral issues. You have students with maybe lack of focus because they're in a larger classroom. You have students that just need extra coaching, right? So we want to offer the students of St. Martin different pathways, different ways to get where they need to go.
Okay.
And that's what we do at Pathways Academy.
So what level of schooling is Majestic Pathways? We
go from kindergarten straight up to GED.
Okay. So that's primary school, high school, and post high school.
Yes, correct.
All right.
Correct. So we have after school program for elementary, but also high school. I know most schools do primary school.
Yeah.
But we do high school as well. High school does not need most schools, they ignore high school. High schoolers need that assistance as well. So we do that. We have tutoring in various subjects. We have GED preparation, and we're getting the approval for testing as well. We have coaching, motivation, because some students, you may think they need tutoring, but they just lack that motivation, right? So we try to do a holistic approach.
Okay.
We cater to dyslexic students, students that may have ADHD or just need to just relax. Sometimes after we cater to them as well.
Just any and every student that needs that help, needs that attention, you guys.
That's what we do, pathways.
And then you guys opened in September. How has it been?
It's been growing steadily.
There we go.
Steadily. The primary section is almost completely full. We have spaces still available in the 5th and 6th grade section. And now we're full force in the high school section. And the GED program, that's ongoing. And we have the hybrid system. So as well as in person, as well as online. So if students are into sports or arts and it's difficult for them to come in and do the lessons, we have where they can get online tutoring as well. So we try to cater to
keep it as wide as possible so that we are able to see the students and help them advance themselves as best as possible. So for the Samaritan public, they say, oh wait, but that sounds like something I could check out for my child. That's something that I'm interested in maybe contributing to and helping this Pathway Academy move forward.
Yes.
How can persons first find Pathways Academy, and how can they get in contact with you guys?
So we're located in St. Peter's, which is very convenient. We're on the corner right as you enter to St. Peter's number 1 in the white building. It used to be a Chinese supermarket, right? Everyone's saying, thank God it's a local. Yes, we're all locals. So it's right on the corner, and feel free to stop by. I'm there every day from 1 o'clock, and you can reach me on 520-2851, or you can visit our website page on majesticpathwaysacademy.com. And if you pass by, you can see the big sign with the QR code. Just click on the QR code, and it will direct you straight to the website as well. And there are 2 big phone numbers on the side as well. Feel free to call those numbers as well.
You cannot miss it. My people, she gave you all the information. We find out a little bit about Tatiana, her journey to get where she is now. Just a wealth of information.
Yes.
I feel like people that want to better understand background information, I think you're a person to talk to. I feel like you have a lot of information to give.
I'll be back. I like to, we could sip some more.
We can sip some more. So my people, make sure you look out. And if Majestic Pathways Academy seems like something that is fitting for your family, or you know someone that it could benefit, definitely check them out. Look for the numbers. She just gave her number. Check them out at majesticpathwaysacademy.com.
Yes.
Drive up St. Peter's, you can't miss them right on the corner. If you went to school in St. Peter's, you know exactly where it is she's talking about, and check them out. And of course, make sure you remind them, tell her that I saw you on Sit, Sip, and Chat, and that's why I make sure pass.
Yes.
Until the next one, my people, have a good time.
Bye.
Cheers.